Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, unless you're Garfield, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. We are going to go over some absolutely great decks for you. We've got our last review of Grandmaster, and I think I've got things to say about the card that others do not. I think it's way better than others do, and I'm going to explain why and why its win rate has suffered. We also have a deck from the number 2 players, technically not a top 2 deck. Decks don't breach ranks, right? Players do, but we've got a deck from the number 2 player Marvel Snap. It's very similar to something we covered right after Annihilation came out, but the deck is better now. I'm trying to be better about recovering decks when the context changed in the meta, because sometimes a deck will come out in earlier meta where it's not fully actualized yet, where there's other more powerful things to do, and then as that changes, we go back to the decks and find out just how powerful they are. So that's what we're going to cover here. Before we go any further, though, please hit that like, sub, and leave us a comment. You help us when you do that to fight the YouTube algorithm, which only wants to show you the same 3 to 4 humongous creators. Help us grow. It's completely free to you. We bring you 3 new decks every weekday. More on that in a couple slides. Next up, let's talk about what decks we're going to check out. So we're going to begin, as always, with questions of the day. We've got a deck from Kawa, not like the tournament running Kawa, different Kawa, who you can find on Twitter at Kawa Tweets, and we'll go over his YouTube later. We've also got a deck from Shuri, the deck is made by Shuri Enjoyer. Kawa brought it to our attention. I'm going to direct you to Kawa's YouTube for some gameplay later. We've got Gunny T's Big Dumb Controversy. Please note this isn't a controversy. I just want to bring your attention to something that happened and sort of explain where I stand on it. Then we've got a deck from Chaos Pro, wonderful YouTube creator, but you can find on Twitter at twitter.com/chaospro with an underscore. A last chance review for Grandmaster. We're also going to talk Hitmonkey and Loki, since they will be out of spotlight, so no one knows when they're coming back. Always better to talk about them when we have this last opportunity to do so. And then we've got our Revote Wednesday deck. It's a Jean Grey deck by Lufku9. And you can find Lufku on Twitter at twitter.com/Lufku9. We'll end, as always, with our shop and shoutouts. All right, some quick reminders. The thing that you'll probably most care about is our big giveaway kicks off Wednesday. It's Monday. You got 2 days. We're giving away 15 season passes, just like we always do. We've got a whole bunch of season passes in the pipe from our extra 8,000 sub giveaway. If we hit 9,000, guess what? We're giving away some more season passes for that too. So hit that sub button. This is a daily show. We cover 3 decks every weekday. Sometimes we have special features, like yesterday we covered that Lammy tournament. The Sunday before that, we did card acquisition, how to get every single card in Marvel Snap as cheaply as possible. If you're free to play, it's must watch. If you're season pass only, here's how you optimize that, etc., etc. We do in between deck features. Wednesday's video with the giveaway will also have some custom cards in it. Today we're doing last chance reviews. We do card reviews. We give you more new decks than anybody. There's a whole bunch here. Every segment's not intended to be for everyone. Hopefully you enjoy the majority and you stick around. All right, the rest of the stuff is here. Please note we have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting us further. We bring you so many videos. It helps us with the upkeep for everything we do. Patreon.com/snapjudgments. We also maintain a giveaway sheet that has every active giveaway in all of Marvel Snap. It's in the description to this and every video. If you need personal help, hit me up on Twitter or Discord, and I'm happy to do so. No financial commitment required. All right, questions of the day. We only have 2 today. Never Broken asks how many hips I have left. So I've got Abomination, Cable, Drax, Jessica Jones as the 4 hips that are available that I don't currently have. I will buy them, even the Jessica Jones that I've passed up multiple times as they turn up in my shop. But those are the 4 I don't have. There's also 3 hips that are not available that I don't have. Moon Girl, Devil Dino, and Groot all came out in varying bundles, and I don't have those bundles. Oops. So I will not be having those variants unless they re-release them somehow. Gunny T asks, since I've exceeded my goals for the channel, are there any projects in the works I'd like to share with you all? Well, Gunny, funny you ask. There might be a tournament idea that I'm going to try and help promote. It's your tournament idea. If we can figure this out, then we're going to try and get some tournament stuff going, because tournaments are the coolest thing in Marvel Snap, in my personal opinion. I absolutely love tournaments. It's killing me that we don't have a spectator mode. I try and convince Second Dinner at every opportunity to get us one so that we can do more tournaments. But there used to be like 3 to 4 tournaments a month, and now there feels like 1 every other month, and it like actually hurts me. I love tournaments in Snap so much. I think we could have one of the best tournament scenes ever, but we don't right now, and I want to try and rectify that. I would happily, if anyone wants to run tournaments, help with some upkeep, help with some prize money, that kind of thing. So let me know if you are a tournament organizer as well. If you'd like your questions read out in tomorrow's video, leave one in the comments. Hey, by the way, we're straight up out of questions. We've got 3 questions for tomorrow's video, and then no questions for Wednesday. So if you would like to add some questions, please feel free. I've literally answered every question anyone has had for me. So add some more, please. All right, our first deck is from Shuri Enjoyer and Kawa. It's called the Shuri Enjoyer thing. It's from Kawa. It is freaking sick. It is frustrating to play and to play against. Sorry, it's frustrating how easy you win with it, and it is extraordinarily frustrating to play against. It's very, very hard to answer a bunch of big things like a 28 power Red Skull when you also have a -10 Void flying at you. That's basically the gist of the deck, right? You have 2 distinct patterns. The Shuri Red Skull package is crazy, crazy strong, especially when combined with the second strongest package or the third strongest package, depending on how you feel about darkhawk, which is the Annihilus package. You've got Enchantress over Shang here. Feel free to switch as your meta demands. Shang might be better right now. I could also see Zero going for Shadow King as a reasonable switch because you're really only zeroing Maw here, so like it's not like it's super pivotal to have Zero in the deck because Destroy is freaking everywhere. If you want to know why Destroy is everywhere, a brand new Destroy deck came in second place in Labby's tournament yesterday. It's in yesterday's video if you want to check it out when we covered Labby's tournament. So make sure you look at that. I think you'll be impressed. All right, so this needs Annihilus, and this is otherwise all Series 3, which is damn cool for a deck that made it to the this powerful. And you can check it out on YouTube if you want some gameplay at youtube.com/@KawaPlays. Kawa's a really cool person. Do me a favor, check him out. Tell him I sent you, because like you should be following Kawa. He doesn't have nearly enough followers. Go show some love. We're all about that here, spreading love in this here community. All right, Shuri Enjoyer is a top 3 post ladder player. As of literally me making this video, he is ranked number 2. We're going to do our very best to exclusively get you his favorite deck before right around the end of the season so that you can take it and hit infinite with it next season. That's our goal. We've spoken to Shuri Enjoyer about it. Fingers crossed that he's down for that. All right. Turn 1, Hodor 0 if Ebony Maw. Turn 2, Armor, or you can drop 0 and Maw together. Turn 3, Sauron, or you do the 1-2 plays. Turn 4 is Shuri or Sentry. I tend to like Shuri here. You can also run Zabu, so you can Zabu Sentry, which is hilarious. So you can Zabu Shuri to play Sentry on top of, and then you can just go Taskmaster and Annihilus and win the game, which is a really, really powerful pattern if you want Zabu in the deck. Turn 4, Shuri or Sentry. It's going to depend what your opponents are playing, right? If you've got the armor down, Shuri, Red Skull, Taskmaster is just so many points, it's really hard to beat. Don't hesitate to do it. If not, then maybe you want to go with the Sentry thing. Maybe you want to go Shuri into Sentry into Annihilus, which is also a really, really powerful play pattern. Either way, especially if you've played Sauron, that Maw at the end of the game or that 0 at the end of the game is a nice extra boost of power. And the other turn 6 play you can make here is you can Enchantress and drop 0 and Maw, assuming that you've played Sauron. And if you've gone like Shuri Red Skull, an Enchantress on one of their combos might win. A big reason Enchantress is here is, well, honestly, the Hella Enjoyer deck is still everywhere. Shuri Enjoyer, Hella Enjoyer, and Husky Puppies are all like buddies along with Kawa. So they're playing a lot at the top of ladder, and that Hella Enjoyer deck, the one that runs Living Tribunal and Iron Man and Onslaught, it's not a Hella deck, Hella Enjoyer is the player's name, is one of the top decks in Snap. And so, because that's one of the top decks in Snap, this is how we beat it. We run Enchantress. Cool. All right. Shuri Enjoyer Kawa thing, quickly. We are a low hip deck here. We've only got Sauron, Shuri, Annihilus, and Vision. A 4-hipper is not bad. But we got the Jacinto pairing of Enchantress and Red Skull. I don't think there's any other variant that's really worth noting here. Although, as always, I want to urge you to hate on Red Skull because Nazis. Cool. One more thing, please, again, check out Kawa at youtube.com/@KawaPlays. All right, cool. This is Gunny T's Big Dumb Idiots. You've seen this deck before, I promise. We covered it on this channel right around January 11th. It was May, January 10th. That means we covered it either January 10th or January 11th. As of this video's release, it is currently January 29th. So this deck has been out for about 19 days. Cool. Great. Let's move forward. It also, by the way, just in case, my channel isn't the biggest, right? So Marvel Snap Zone is, however, the biggest Marvel Snap website. I write articles there. See it right here. The January 14th Sleeper Decks of the Week. Gunny T's Big Dumb Idiots. This deck has been around for a while. Both Lambie's Discord and Cambest's Discord have full write-ups of Gunny's suggestions for playing it. We've got my write-ups for playing it. This is a known deck. Well, yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, with 24,000 views in 19 hours, Dexter released the deck. And I'm not saying Dexter's a bad person. I actually really like Dexter a lot. I think Dexter's very cool. Dexter says, I think I got it from a tapped or somewhere. Maybe I changed a card or two. I don't know. And, like, that's fine. At least he acknowledged that he doesn't know where he got it from. I'd prefer that we're more upfront in the video. But fine. Dexter doesn't know where he got it. He just shared a cool deck that's been around for a while that he had some great success with. He won like 62% of games with it, which is not surprising. It's a deck that benefits good play. Now, I want to contrast that with one other thing. So, Chad posts Chad's response. Chad is a classy person. It's cool to see something I'm proud of being covered by such an influential personality. Here's the deck. Here's how you can find it. It's been on Snap Judgecast, so on. Cool. All right. I'd like to note the difference between that and what Regis Kilbin did. Regis Kilbin is the biggest creator in the game, partially because he still does Hearthstone stuff, but he's bigger than Cozy. He's bigger than Dex. He's an incredibly kind person. But please note, see the deck right on the screen? Big Dumb Idiots by Gunny T? See how, like, much simpler that is? How nice that is? Like, if you created one of these decks, and I'm not saying Dexter did anything wrong. I'm talking about going the extra mile here. I want to make that clear, and I'm going to repeat that. This isn't Dexter doing anything wrong, just like I don't think Cozy is some kind of monster last time this happened. I think this is about trying to, when possible, go the extra mile when you have the influence to benefit those who can benefit from your help. You're not a bad person if you don't do that, but I think it's worth going out of our way, noting, praising those who do. And Regis, literally, here it is right on your screen. Big Dumb Idiots by Gunny T, which again led to another tweet from our friend Chad. I'm so excited that Regis played my deck. Thank you for the shout out. Much respect, including the shout out. Just like the tone, he's so much more excited. Help our friends. And Chad is my friend. Gunny is my friend. I talk to Gunny all the time. He's in the questions all the time. He helps me edit videos sometimes. So, like, I'm clearly biased here. I'm not even going to pretend I'm not biased here. I'm, however, not especially close with Revis. I like Revis, but we're not close. And I don't know most of the bigger personalities here. So this is not like a personal thing. I just think overall, and if you've watched this channel for a long time, you know I go out of my way to try and get you to go watch other people's videos, other people's content. I feel like it makes the whole community stronger when we all engage with each other's stuff in that way. And I'm really, really, really happy Regis did it. And now I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to turn this into an advertisement. You can stay ahead of the meta by watching this channel. The big reason to sub is literally 19 days early. 19 days early? Jesus Christ. Yeah, 19 days early, you could have had this deck. You could be playing this deck. A bunch of people on my Discord hit infinite with this deck. You can have these decks early from this channel. Most of the time, I can watch a bigger creator's videos, exception being KM. I can watch a bigger creator's videos and be like, that's that deck from that day, that's that deck from that day, that's that deck from that day. It's not amazingly difficult. Most people are going weeks later into whatever place, and they're either finding these decks later, or they're finding these decks later on Untapped, or they're creating something weeks later that we've already had for a while. And I think it's worth knowing that if you want to stay ahead of the curve, this, and honestly, KM's, and fairly often Regis, because Regis is a beast, he wants fun things and craves novelty in much the same way I do. So like Regis, in much the way TLSG used to, finds really good stuff fast, that's where to go. Otherwise, look, there's great decks all over the place, right? The Lambie tournament happened, and everyone's going to bring you that Destroy deck. But like the Owie deck that was really great, and the Jet deck, the Jet Phoenix deck, you're not going to get those until they start like dominating the meta in 2-3 weeks from other creators. So please hit that sub button. I think it's worth it. But also, hey, I want everyone to, and I know a bunch of creators watch this. I know the top of the ladder watches this. Hi, top of the ladder players. I appreciate your support. I get messages from them through other people sometimes. It's really, really sweet. I appreciate it. I talked to Roy about it. It's honestly my favorite thing. It makes me feel like what I'm doing has value to people who really get the game and people who are trying to get better. So all of this is great. But hey, I want all of you, even those of you who are in heated competition, to remember community first. We're building something here. We're not just building ourselves. If we have something stronger for all of us, we all do better. I promise. Union strong, y'all. All right. Our next deck is from the homie Chaos Pro. Chaos Pro has this sweet Ronin deck. Chaos Pro came up with my single favorite idea for Grandmaster. Is it the best idea for Grandmaster? Nope. I think the one that a bunch of people came up with that's the best is the double 2s on 4, where you can go with Zabu and Ravonna in the same deck, and then you can play the second of those with Grandmaster on 4 and get either an extra Widow or an extra Rock Slide. I think that's wildly strong. I think this is second or third among my favorites, but it's still crazy strong, because you might notice that this can still do like a Master Mold and Widow or Rock Slide if it so chooses on turn 4, right? Like it's still got that play. There's also the obvious Grandmaster in Destroy, so you can cut Deathlock, who's kind of a mid card, but Carnage and Venom are both great, and Grandmaster gives you a second trigger of the better cards, which seems extremely strong. So Grandmaster has his homes. We're going to talk more about Grandmaster right after this deck, but for now, just like recognize that Grandmaster has his homes where he's like replaceable, but when you replace him, the deck gets worse. And we're going to talk about what card that sounds like for me. Okay, so this is a standard Darkhawk list, right? You'll note that, because, okay, I have trouble with this kind of list. Exactly reason why. And that's not to say this list is incredible. This is one of the best Ronin lists since Ronin's buff. Cool? Now, Ronin Darkhawk lists frustrate me because the best card that goes with Ronin is not Master Mold, it's Maximus. Those two cards have incredible synergy, and Maximus is incredibly strong. 2/6 wildly great stats. It beats almost all the other best statistics in the game at 2. Cool? So I want to run those together. But, Darkhawk has anti-synergy with Maximus. And so when I run Ronin, I feel like I can't run Maximus. You can run both, but you shouldn't, as Chaos Pro has wisely come to. Instead, he's running Master Mold and Master Mold with the Super Clog. And knowing what your opponent is playing, if your opponent's playing like a deck that's not going to be able to get out more than a card a turn, dropping those Sentinels in their hands is absolutely backbreaking. Don't do that against a Loki player, though. They're just going to cycle those into better of your cards. You still have the Darkhawk game plan. You still have the Sarah game plan. You still have the Zabu and Sarah make my Darkhawk and Shang-Chi and Iron Lad 2 cost plan, which means Ronin is 4, but you can play Ronin with Darkhawk, Shang-Chi, or Iron Lad. You can also just go, if you get Zabu out, you can go Ronin, and then you can go Mystique and Darkhawk on the last turn of the game, which is incredibly powerful. There's a lot to like here. This is wildly strong. So Iron Lad can be Absorbent Man. I actually really, really don't hate this. Absorbent Man works really well after Widow or Rock Slide. I think Iron Lad is better. Iron Lad gets you more of a high roll, but Absorbent Man gets you more disruption. Also, double Shang-Chi at the end of the game is pretty good. So this needs Darkhawk and Zabu, this version anyway. Grandmaster can be Shadow King or Jeff. I don't think Grandmaster is needed. I think the deck is better with Grandmaster, and that's what I'm trying to tell you about the card. Very good deck that is better with Grandmaster than without. Finally, please, please, please go check out our friend Chaos Pro on YouTube. He's a nice, big, mid-sized creator, similar to me. You can find him on YouTube at youtube.com/chaospro. He's got some gameplay for this deck, so if you want to see this deck piloted, it's a great success. A bunch of people are getting Infinite tickets with this. Infinite Conquest is open in a day, so get ready. So that's what we're looking at. Check out Chaos Pro. All right, so this is the best Master Mold has ever been, I think. I think there are potentially better Ronin decks or Ronin decks that are similarly as good, but this is easily the best Master Mold ever. Korg on 1, Zabu on 2 is better than Master Mold. Turn 3 is Rock Slide or Widow, and those are generally better than Lad. Turn 4 is Grandmaster plus Zabu or Mold, or you can just drop Lad here. Turn 5 is Sarah, is generally better than Ronin. Turn 6, Darkhawk and Mystique, Mystique and Shang, or some other combo of big old stuff. It's really straightforward to play, really cool. Quick hip talk before we go. We got Korg, Mold, Zabu, Lad, Sarah, Ronin, 6 hips, not bad. We've got the Peach Momoko for Mystique and Shang-Chi, and then that's it for the notable variants. I really like this Darkhawk and Rock, Paper, Scissors, Slide, but they're not especially notable. Cool. Let's go. Last chance review for Grandmaster. Grandmaster, for anyone who is unaware, is 2-0, Series 5, 6,000 tokens, unreveal. Move one of your other unrevealed cards here to the middle location. Its ability happens again. When Grandmaster first came out, everyone started playing him in giant combo decks, me included if you go back to my video. I had a million decks, but most of them were trying to use Grandmaster toward the end of the game to abuse something. Turns out that's wrong. What Grandmaster wants to be played is around turn 4, sometimes turn 3, but generally speaking around turn 4. You want to trigger Grandmaster to get something early that enables your late plays to be more powerful. When this is done, what Grandmaster ends up being is a card that's fairly similar to Nico. You don't need Nico for basically any deck. She's really, really helpful in things like Bounce and Destroy. Grandmaster is really, really helpful in things like Bounce and Destroy. Nico doesn't want to be in darkhawk decks while Grandmaster does, but you get the idea at this point, right? What we have here is a card that is an enabler. Is it better than Nico? No, I don't think so, but I think it's around the same plane. It wouldn't shock me to see this get a point-ish of power, since people didn't like it because they honestly played it wrong at first. But I think that the ability of Grandmaster to take what you're doing early in the game and amplify it makes it a really strong card. Is it must have? No. I don't think Nico's must have. I think they fall just below that threshold. In terms of like cards that go everywhere, there's Iron Lad and Jeff. And you should really have Iron Lad and Jeff. They make a billion decks better. They're extremely strong, extremely flexible cards. I think they are must have. And a step below that is Nico, and I believe personally Grandmaster, because they go in a lot of decks that they are not required for, in the same way Iron Lad enables decks to happen, in the same way Jeff gives decks reach that they couldn't otherwise have. Grandmaster makes decks better, and I think that makes decks better of Grandmaster is viable, and this is a card I think that if you have the resources, you should get. How does that relate to Beta Ray Bill? You're going to have to wait till tomorrow's video, 8 a.m., to hear more about Beta Ray Bill, but I would rather right now, today, have Grandmaster than Beta Ray Bill. Just going to tell you that right now. And I might be the high person on Grandmaster comparing it to Nico, but I think my logic here is sound, and I'd love to hear some people in the comments sound off and let me know what you think. Hitmonkey is good right now. Hitmonkey's not great, but we've got Tucker's Hitmonkey Thor's deck that's only going to get better tomorrow when Beta Ray Bill comes out, and we've got the Lambie Bounce deck, which is based on my Bounce deck, just for the record. We've got the Lambie Bounce deck, which has Hitmonkey in it, and Hitmonkey's the key piece, so you can't play that deck without it. And then finally, we have name of card, Black Swan. Black Swan's such a like busted, like barely known Marvel character. I can't believe it's in Season Pass. But we have Black Swan, which is a 2/3 Season Pass card next month, makes all your ones cost 0 next turn. That with Hitmonkey is silly. You can do that like as early as you want with Hitmonkey, as early as turn 2, and you can have like a 12 power Hitmonkey on turn 3. There's no reason you can't, right? Like the combo potential with those cards is completely silly. I think Hitmonkey is damn near must have. He has only 3,000 tokens, but if you need Grandmaster, I think you open for Hitmonkey and Grandmaster, because that's 9,000 tokens in value if you have 4 caches saved. Again, if you don't know how to use your spotlights optimally, I'm not telling you to open just, if you only have 2 caches, open 2 for these 2 cards. I think that is a terrible idea. Check last Sunday's video. It's linked in somewhere in one of the little eyes in this video. I link it every video because I think it's important for people to see. And if you're in that situation, if you're in that circumstance, go get these 2 cards. If you have 4 spotlights and you're willing to save up from some more for the next week. If you must have Beta Ray Bill, then obviously don't do that. Loki remains one of the best decks in the game. Lambie's tournament was yesterday, right? 2 of the top 8 and 1 of the top 4, because 1 made top 4, were Loki decks. Loki's still one of the best things you can do in Marvel Snap. Is he the best? Nope. But he's still a tier 1 deck. Like, bar none, no questions asked. Loki is a tier 1 deck. So if Loki is a tier 1 deck and you can get him, you should get him. That's simple, right? If you've got 4 spotlights, I think Grandmaster, Hitmonkey, and Loki are really, really hard to miss. I think they're amongst the best that you can ever possibly do in Marvel Snap. I don't know how else I can say that. This is one of the best spotlight caches ever. So, in terms of like all 3 cards being really good and really useful, you've got tier 1 meta card Loki, potential tier 1 in and out of tier 1 Hitmonkey, and great deck enabler in Grandmaster. That's a buy for me. Cool. That's where I am. Hey, someone in the comments to one of my, I think it was on Twitter, was like, hey, Loki doesn't work with Collector anymore, question mark. Loki does not work with Collector anymore, just so you know. Loki has now transformed your hand into cards for your opponent's starting deck, which means that Loki needs cards like Ms. Marvel to really, really pop off nowadays. So Loki is more of an investment in terms of what other cards you need, because Loki used to work with fundamentally, like outside of Snowguard, basically a Series 3 only deck. Well, now you need some more higher series stuff to make Loki really top notch. All right. Last deck of the day. This is Blocked Movement. This is made about a week ago, a little more than a week ago, by our friend Lufku. I love Lufku, such a cool person. This is a nice, simple deck that says, okay, so what if I could use Jean Grey to set up my Valkyrie? And if you can use Jean Grey to set up Valkyrie with cards like Iron Man, cards like Echo, and then all the move from Ghost Spider, Jeff, and Silk, you should win. I'm going to tell you the one card I don't love in this deck is Magic. Magic is fine, but not great. I'd probably run Craven. I might even run Craven and Kingpin. This deck steals cubes. Thank you, Quake. Right? Quake is just phenomenal for this deck. Quake is phenomenal in like every deck. If you don't believe me, ask Lambie what he thinks about Quake. Go into stream and be like, hey, what do you think about Quake? And then brace yourself for the 20-minute lecture you're about to get about how great Quake is. So Echo here could be Ant-Man. You don't lose too much because Ant-Man goes great with Valkyrie and Ms. Marvel is not omnipresent anymore. Ghost Spider can be Ant-Man or Craven. Jeff or Silk are needed. You need at least one of them. I think you probably need both, to be honest. And this is made for Jean and Goliath, so please don't play them without them. All right, this is a really cool deck. So you play Echo mid, then you play Jeff. Then you play Jean over Magic. You're fine magicking, though. Then turn 4, you drop 2/2s. We're looking to go like Silk, and now we're trying to drop our Quake to cause some trouble, now that we know all the locations. Turn 5 is Iron Man, turn 6 is Valkyrie or Doom, and if there is a turn 7, it's Goliath. And then you take all of their cubes and giggle as you go to the bank. Quick variant talk. We've got some Pichu Mokos here. We've got Echo, Ghost Spider. We've got the Rion Valkyrie, and then we've got the hips. Oh, sorry, and the Peach Shang. We've got the hips for Goliath, for Iron Man, and for Jeff. So only 3 hips here, but we've also got Midnight Suns for both Jean and Magic. Spotlight Silk, and then of course the Quake I love, and my favorite Doom, which is, I think I've decided, my second favorite variant in the game. We'll talk about my first variant in the game right here because it's on the screen. It's this Daredevil. The upside down Hishimoko Daredevil I think is freaking gorgeous. The silhouette, everything about it. I adore this card. I really like the Ryan Brown Sabretooth, but I have 2 Sabretooths, and the one on the right, the top right, has grown on me enough that I think I'm just happy running that Sabretooth. I bought the $30.99 thinking I was going to run it, but it's a little bit too disco for me, too like 80s rock, I guess, not disco. But so I'm running the upper right Sabretooth. I was perfectly happy with the beta season pass Daredevil, which I bought much later. I wasn't part of the beta, but then I got the Peach Momoko Daredevil, and now I will never play another Daredevil. That yellow suit is only 700 gold, so I think it's great. I'd be perfectly happy to have it, but I'm also not spending for it. As far as the rest go, I have a hip for Sauron. I have both the hip and the Jacinto for Carnage. I have a hip for Wave and the one that came from that season pass bundle. I have, you saw my favorite Doom. I also have the Emperor Doom. Both are gold. I have hip, Greek, and the season pass version of Spider-Man. I also don't buy pixels. I have plenty of Deadpools. I don't buy pixels, and that's where we are for the day. Certain tiers of support on Patreon come with on-air thanks. We have today Models, who just won a season pass from me. Pretty Chill, Fothor Newman, Inc., No Flex, Mandatory Burnout, Matt Conduit 23, Good Dog Gamer, Kerdix Lee, Mikey Hijinks, DG Winfield, The Homie Cables, Rob Silverman, Matt H., Abigail Gieslin, Direwolf, Ocularis, Jay Nevereat, Spike Jones, not that Spike Jones, but still Spike Jones, Boy Ray, Chillin' from Japan, my former student Louis Antonez, JD McDonald Nino, top 100 player, and the homie Min, who you can catch on Twitch at Rito in Disguise. All good? Final thoughts. That first deck is mean. That second deck is phenomenal. And that third deck is really cool. It's a little bit more meme tier, but it's still really, really fun. Hit that sub button, hit that like, hit that comment. You'll get the best decks before anyone else does. If you have the extra cash and you're willing to check it out, you can support our Patreon for basically less than $1, less than like a cent a video, I believe was how the math worked out, which is utterly insane. Thanks so much for watching. see you tomorrow for our breakdown of Beta Ray Bill. Peace.